Pupsker here, and today I wanted to talk about China. China is implementing and talking about the possibility of a new anti-gambling addiction gaming law, and I wanted to talk about that law and how it might change Warframe forever, because I don't know if you know, but Warframe has a lot of gambling mechanics and a lot of FOMO tactics, if you will, and this law will kind of stop that. So let's quickly just take a look, read some articles, and then talk about what is going on. So I have off AP News, Associated Press News, right? China drafts new rules proposing restrictions on online gaming. And of course, Tencent, if you didn't know, Tencent is the owner, the vast majority stakeholder, I guess, of Digital Extremes Warframe. So yeah, Tencent is technically the parent company of Digital Extremes. They were sold off to Tencent by Lewa, the previous owner of Digital Extremes, I believe. Steve is the CEO of Digital Extremes, but I believe Tencent is a majority stakeholder, so they technically, yeah. So it's this huge thing. Anyways, Hong Kong AP. China released draft guidelines Friday aimed at curbing excessive spending on online gaming in the latest move by the ruling Communist Party to keep control of the virtual economy, right? The proposal caused shares in the biggest Chinese gaming companies, Tencent NetEase, to plunge in Hong Kong. Tencent and NetEase, so yeah. China's gaming regulator, the National Press and Publication Administration, issued guidelines saying online games cannot offer incentives for daily logins or purchases. Warframe has daily logins. Yes, yeah. Insane. We do have daily logins and purchase type mechanics, so. Other restrictions include limiting how much users can recharge and issue warnings for irrational consumption behavior. Here's the funniest part. Shares in Tencent, China's largest gaming company, divided about 16% before recovering some ground to close 12% lower. Rival NetEase stock price loses about 25%. Yeah, it's true. Beijing has taken various measures against the online game sector in recent years. In 2021, regulators set strict restrictions on the amount of time children could spend on games to spend 3 hours a week. A state media news outlet described online games as spiritual opium. Hell yeah, it is. An allusion to past eras where addiction to the drug was widespread in China. That's right, instead of playing video games, we just want you to work 24/7. Approvals of new video games were also suspended for about 8 months, resuming only in April 2022 as authorities eased a broader crackdown on entire technology industry. So this could have huge implications for Warframe, but it also might not. Warframe has multiple versions of the game. Warframe China is its own build of the game that is, obviously taking place in China. Whereas Warframe International is the other build. I think there's only Warframe China and Warframe International, right? Which is region locked depending if you're NA and whatnot, but that is still a big difference. So it's possible if all of this actually ends up going through, Warframe in China might take away certain daily logins and have to restructure how they do purchases, but it's possible that it wouldn't actually change for Warframe North America or internationally at all. That being said, I feel like if Tencent Warframe is forced into changing Warframe China, they'll probably change regular Warframe as well, just for it to make sense. Because usually they try to change most things, but we'll have to wait and see. There's more news though. Exclusive. China removes official after video game rules spark turmoil. And this is on routers, okay? Hong Kong, January 2 on routers. China removed an official at a government body overseeing its press and publications regulator. 5 sources who were briefed on the matter said days after Chinese gaming stocks were hit by a proposed rule to curb spending on video games. Feng Shizhen, I hopefully didn't mess that up too much, was removed last week from his position as head of the publishing unit of the Communist Party's publicity department, the sources said. Holy shit, their publicity dude got fired because of this. That's insane. The department oversees the National Press and Publication Administration, which in turn regulates China's vast video game sector. Bro. So even China regulatory bodies were pissed off that they lost so much money. It's insane. China's State Council Information Office, which handles media queries on behalf of the Chinese government, including on personal matters, did not immediately respond to a request for comment, and Reuters was unable to obtain Feng's contract details to reach him for contact details, not contract, sorry. The 5 sources said Feng's removal was linked to the rules the NPPA announced last month that sent stocks in the world's largest video game sector, including industry giant Tencent, plunging. Damn. The source declined to be identified as authorities had yet to officially announce Feng's departure. Feng has recent years represented Chinese government at events, discussed authority efforts to regulate industries, including gaming approvals and real name verification requirements for gamers. Reuters was not able to establish how long he had served in his current role. Dang, dude, that's actually crazy. The NPPA's proposed measures, which seek to curb spending and use rewards that encourage the playing of video games, triggered fears that authorities were once again cracking down heavily on the sector and wiped nearly $80 billion off the market value of China's 2 biggest gaming companies. Which, yeah, no, that I could totally see someone getting fired over wiping out $80 billion off a market cap. Like, that's pretty wild. Is Warframe screwed though? Probably not. Analysts also said plans during the risk of potential regulatory changes back to the foreign minds of investors, hurting confidence at a time when Beijing has been trying to boost private sector investment to spur a slowing economy. 5 days after the rules were announced, NPPA struck a more, conciliatory, tone, saying it would be improve them by earnestly studying public views. Conciliatory? I haven't actually seen that word used ever. Wild. It's like to console. Anyways, Beijing cracked down heavily on its video game sector in 2021, setting strict playtime limits for under 18s and suspending approvals of new video games for about 8 months, citing gaming addiction. Crackdown was part of the wider regulated industry. Okay. China's video game market returned to growth last year as domestic revenue rose 14%. So this could be huge, but it seems like they're already going back because of how much money it cost them. So let's see what Reddit thinks about it. How's it going, Reddit? Here's an article on speech. Feng Shan's back in 2020. WTF is nihilistic history. Okay. CCP have this idea that everyone is equal in the system and mediocrity is always real. That's why so many billionaires are facing such heavy regulation. But at the same time, it's common among Chinese youth, the notion that your cards are decided the moment you're born and there's nothing to change that. If you get rich, is gambling. Well, I mean, it's the same in NA, to be fair, for a lot of people. A lot of people already view the economy and the general world in NA as fucked beyond belief that we just can't fix it, right? So, I mean, everyone's pretty nihilistic and doomer these days, so it's not too surprising. China removes official after new regulation, hurt Chinese company stock values, only pushback that matters is the rich when losing money. Yeah, the only thing that ever matters is money. Oh wait, China hasn't walked back on many policies that hurt the rich of their top companies, including Tencent. These recent regulations were just heavy-handed, probably the most demanding of recent regulations levied in one fell swoop. They're going after multiple core facets of live service gaming, which makes up most of Chinese game industry, though that is becoming true for every country nowadays. Yep. Probably should have rolled them out incrementally rather than causing a major economic downfall with chance of mass layoffs by holding them all at once. It was horrible planning without a proper analyst or situation out of touch officials. Yeah, them announcing it all at once totally screwed them. Yes, this is about the economy and job impact for sure. Rich losing money isn't a big deal, but creating more potential for unemployment is otherwise high tech. I mean, it's all the same. And a 20% youth unemployment rate that they've stopped reporting on because it's wildly embarrassing for them. Yeah, China's a little fucked right now too. I think it's just everywhere is a little fucked right now, right? It depends how fucked, but everything's just a little screwed. Okay, I feel like many are missing the point as to why they backtrack and just see it as it's a shame because it keeps gacha running. Under the proposed regulations, every single video game would have been affected under it, regardless of a one-time paid fee single-player game with zero monetization or a gacha game, right? It would have completely crippled their video game economy sector overnight from the indies to the megacorps. How will this affect non-exploitative games? Essentially allow CCP to audit games that they deem problematic be used as propaganda overseas. Already happened with Anno Mutation, one of the endings getting changed in April 2022 update, thinking stars based in Beijing. Ooh, that's rough. This one is left intentionally vague and would apply to anything with remotely any type of PvP, even if it's just ghost player data. Destroying another player's home in Rust they aren't logged in to defend would count as a forced PvP battle. Oh yeah, no, for sure. You would think this would mean online-only games, but no, it applies to any game downloaded from a service. This is what I've referred to in my original post. There is no nuance to it. This is all video games are the same. Argument from the 90s. Damn, that's wild, to be fair. I really hope it doesn't change Warframe too much, and hopefully it doesn't aggressively go through. But if Warframe China is forced to change even more, we might see more of those changes reflected in the global version of it, because it wouldn't be the first time. Or, I mean, like, Warframe China could be forced to shut down if they don't change things globally, right? Because that's how China works, right? You either agree and do what they say, or you get kicked out of the global economy in China. I should say the local economy of China globally. Yeah, words are hard. I'm bad at English. I think last time they didn't approve any new mobile applications, time Tencent NDs for 1 year. Strange to see the CCP back down so publicly this time. What changed since they... I mean, I feel like it wasn't the CCP back down so much. It's just like their economy was hit so hard by this. It was such a bad way to go about it, and that's why like the official was fired. I think they just want to like that other person said up here. They want to slow release it and then more test the waters. But it's hard to say exactly what's going on, and until we see proper changes in the gaming industry and these laws actually go through, we just don't really know. I do think if this shit goes through, it's going to affect Warframe pretty heavily, as Warframe is a full free-to-play PvE and PvP technically game, right? It has a ton of microtransactions, and it has a ton of FOMO microtransaction tactics. So if they're trying to get rid of FOMO tactics, they might forcefully have to like stop Prime access over in China, and they might have to stop all of the limited time releasings they're doing. But who knows, because everything's just so up in the air about the law, right? So we wait and see. I don't think this is going to affect Warframe all that much, though, okay? I really don't. If it does, I think it would mainly affect the Warframe China client, because that is a thing. And I think since Warframe Digital Extremes is... they take place in London, Ontario, Canada, but they're owned by Tencent. That's what makes it so tricky, right? Because since DE is owned by Tencent, they might still be strong-armed into a global change. God, everything's so complicated. But until everything fully goes through, this is just something that's being talked about. So nothing really to worry about yet, but oh dear God, it could get scary in 2024. So we wait and see. Let me know what you think. Like. You can always use the Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you want to support the channel. But I just don't see games getting hit this hard internationally. Maybe just more locally. And I'm really hoping it doesn't make games worse. But if it makes games better by reducing gambling, honestly, I wouldn't be that mad. So we're going to have to wait and see. Hopefully it actually turns out well for us, the video game players. Because like a 3-hour weekly gameplay cap in China doesn't affect anyone NA. It only affects China. It still sucks for people in China, like kids who want to play video games. But hey, I know what you mean, right? It's not going to affect us, but we'll have to wait. So... yeah, don't you love it when everything's up in the air? Don't think it's gonna hit us, but we'll see.